How's it going, guys and girls? It's Six Toppy, and welcome back to episode 2 of Your Average Asshole. In this episode, we'll be talking about my struggle to get by as a teenager. I remember growing up watching my mother struggle with her mental health. I didn't understand it at the time. I was only a teenager. All I know is that I wanted to protect her. Kids in school would call her crazy. My own family would claim she was faking it when they were never around to experience it firsthand like I did myself. People were just ignorant to what was going on. When you don't experience something firsthand, it's easy to point fingers and judge. No one knows the actual truth until they've been in the situation themselves. My mother would be in and out of the hospital like every month, and I was home alone with this homeless man we gave a place to live who would rather pay for drugs than pay for a place to live in that was given to them for free. Almost 7 years he lived there, not paying any rent, only sweeping once in a while. My mother would give him her money to go food shopping. She would give him like 100 to 150 bucks, and he would come home with peanut butter, cold cuts, a few bottles of soda, and some spaghetti and tomato sauce, and he would keep the rest of the money for himself. Days when my mother was in the hospital, the homeless man's brother, which was homeless too, would buy me a double stack from Wendy's. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have ate most of the time. I was getting bullied at the same time in high school, so things was getting much harder to handle. I was barely eating at home, and when lunchtime came at school, I would eat peanut butter and jelly or a cheese sandwich every day. Since that's all they served, I didn't complain because at least I was being fed. I would sit alone at lunch because no other kids liked me. During my classes, I would try to be funny just to get people to like me, trying to impress the other kids, getting in trouble doing so. I started failing each class. Kids would constantly make fun of me, and my nickname in school was Dirty Rob due to the fact that I would go to school with the same dirty clothes. My mother was always in the hospital, like I said, so I had no money to buy new clothes or to clean my clothes or even buy body wash or soap. I had a bedwetting problem at the time, so I would have to go to school in pissy underwear, and I had no deodorant, so I smelled like body odor. The bullying became worse each day. Each class I would be made fun of. I started guessing random answers on my schoolwork just to finish early. The only time I wasn't being made fun of is when I put my head down in class and just ignored everyone. I couldn't do that all the time, and it started getting worse. I had no one to turn to or get advice from. I had no friends or family around to be there for me. The family that I had was too busy with their own lives or didn't contact me because I wasn't reaching out to them, when in reality I was going through a tough time in life and had no one to turn to and had no way to reach anyone. I had no money for transportation or when payphones were a thing back then. I had no money to make a call. I had no house phone due to the fact of everything getting shut off due to my mother being in the hospital and the bills not getting paid. I still wonder if I would have had someone that was there for me, if I would have finished school and got through the bullying without running away and dropping out of high school at age 17. Throughout it all, I'm not mad at people who chose not to be there for me when I needed them the most. I was there for myself, and that's all I needed. We all have our own problems, and it's up to us to figure it out on our own. Some people are lucky to have people to back them up, and some don't. What you go through doesn't define you. How you handle the situation and how you choose to get through it really says a lot about you. Things weren't always bad, it just started getting bad in high school. Back in middle school, I would always go to my dad's house when my mom was in the hospital. Once I hit high school, everything got worse for some reason, and I was all on my own. Since then, I've learned to appreciate people more. It's crazy. The last time you talk to someone could be the last. You never know when it's someone's last day. Well, that's it with today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed. This episode wasn't to call anyone out for not being there for me. I just wanted to share my struggle, so hopefully someone going through something similar can see that someone got through it, and you can too.